And it was very interesting. You know, the at first, I didn't think it would go over well, and because I was going outside of the norm, and then it caught on. At the end of Wild Style is when people saw me do that.
And that's the movie that came out in what, 1981?
I'm not sure when Wild Style came out,
Wow.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, cause that
And,
that cause that movie featured you.
well, at the end, I did the amphitheater, and I never actually seen the movie. I never watched that film. I never seen none of those hip hop stories. I've seen parts of Wild Style now because I had to perform it recently, and so I watched some of it. But and people ask me why. I just didn't see it. It wasn't that I didn't like it. I have to be honest with you. When they came to film me, I did not want to be in the film. And so when you watch the film, you don't see my face because I asked them not to film me. And at that time, I did not make the connection as to what they were doing
But
because
okay, hold on. That's deep that you said. See, I get you. Here's what happened with you. Did you think that by you being a purist, because don't forget, you're you. The more I talk to you, the more I hear the older version of you. You never change. By you being a purist, did you feel that by them filming you, you didn't want to go commercial? You wanted to always keep it real? Because you figure if the camera's on you, you're not real anymore. So at that time, at your age, like 81, 82, you were like, no, 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 this is still new. It wasn't hip hop yet, you know?
well, the truth is I was just not mature enough to understand what their vision was. And I saw it from my perspective. I did not experience someone spray painting while I was DJing. That wasn't my experience. And
Mm, mm.
and so I felt that this was not accurate historically. And that's not what they were trying to say with this film. This film was just demonstrating these cultural expressions
At that time,
via
at that
via
time.
art. No, just in the human experience. So here we are, thousands of years later, after seeing cave writing and all that stuff. Here we are, and now we have this technology. We have spray paint in a can, and so these things are happening.
It's
And
new. It's
so,
new. They're showcasing it.
well, it's not new. It's an updated version of cultural expressions that are ancient.
No, but it's new to a lot of people. I mean, hey, man, when Rap hit, and let me tell
No,
you,
but let me say this because
mm,
maybe I'm not saying it right.
mm.
These expressions are ancient, but for in our time, because we don't know our past. We've gone through a lot that makes sure that we don't know our past,
Mm,
and so it becomes news to us mentally.
mm.
But our physical expression shows that our genetics remembers that, and that's why we are able to do what we do. And that's why I'm saying it's an epigenetic experience. We never saw the Mills Brothers and the gospel choirs rapping in the 1930s. I never saw that. I see it now.
Right.
I never saw the break dancers in the 1930s. I never saw that. And so why did I do it? You know what I'm saying? What did we connect to make us do that? And that's why I'm saying it's an epigenetic experience, because it's written in our code. And so it's gonna happen, and this will phase out, and it'll come back again because it's there. You know, it was the right place, the right time, the right energy, and these expressions come to the surface. And you can call it the Holy African Holy Ghost or whatever, but these are the things that human beings do.
Was Wild Style before Breaking and Beat Street?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wild Style I think is the
It's
first
the first.
film on about this expression, this experience.
Wow. Okay, so now, oh, you deep into the grind, brother. We're talking about what? Now you doing your thing. I never forget your mother's face. When you started making money, she said that you were ironing your money. You had your money on. You were ironing your $100 bills, bro. I think you shocked your mom when you started, like, cause don't forget when you are your mother's child and you're in there banging drums doing shit. They don't know what you're doing until that green slot coming in. I never forget. I never forget. She told my mother, he's making money doing this.
Yeah, that was doing the parties and stuff.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
I was just DJing at parties.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
used to
I
iron.
mean, and what's so deep in the projects? You wasn't bringing home drug money. You was making money from doing parties. That was unheard of back then, because back then the game was drugs. Okay, you making money doing running cocaine, weed, whatever the case. You
Right.
you no, you make, and then and you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do none of that. Uh,
No, I never drank, never smoked, never got high, none of
yeah,
that.
that's you.
And
And you from the projects, bro. I want people to know, don't get the projects twisted. And you and I talk about this. The music industry owes the projects all over the country money for calling it the hood. I'm gonna say it again. The
well, we
music.
never did that. We didn't call it the hood.
No, you didn't. No,
That
thank you.
came later. That was the West Coast influence
Yes.
that spread
All
across
right,
the
now
country.
let's talk Bible. Okay, this is the Bible
Yeah,
now. The West Coast came. I mean, I love Snoop and them. I mean, cause hey, Snoop and Dre and them. Congratulations, Dre got a star on the Walk of Fame and all that. You know, it is
thank
what
you.
it is. But they did come with that hood stuff, and Special Ed said some things, and West Coast got mad. But you can't get mad at the Bible, because we're at a critical time in our culture right now. And for other Negroes and blacks and niggers to get mad, I'm like Rodney King. Can we all get along? Because they are getting rid of us anyway. I ain't gonna say who they is, and it ain't no longer the white man no more. So let's not put that on the white man. They are getting rid of us. And don't forget, a lot of other cultures don't like our black ass like they used to. Okay? We're not liked by a lot of people. Let's keep that real. And not only do we don't like each other, we're not liked by other cultures. So my point is this. With this hood neighborhood shit, we destroyed ourselves within. You're in bad shape when you can't have people who pay dues to be seniors, past 70, past 80 years old, when they can sit on the park bench outside and go for a walk, around the neighborhood, where they got to worry about our own kids shooting them, knocking them in the head. Hey, man, this is insanity. This is insanity, because the projects was one of the most safest places in the world once upon a time, before the industry called it the hood. Now they made it a jungle madhouse.
Yeah, well, like I said, and I forgot the gentleman who made that quote, but insanity is a perfectly natural adjustment to an unnatural and negative environment.
Mm,
And that's where we are.
that's where we are. That's where we are. Now, okay, now let's go back to 1980, in the early 80s, when you're doing your thing, the house parties. Okay, so when did you run into Madonna?
Well, that's at the Roxy's. I became the DJ
Now
at
tell us about you and Madonna. That's right, y'all. The singer Madonna. Yeah, the one and only
well,
Madonna.
she was part of our, the Roxy family. She was at the Roxy with us, and we all just partied together.
Was Jelly Bean was
I
Jelly
was
Bean there too, D?
not, no, he wasn't on the scene yet.
Okay.
This is before Jelly Bean,
Okay.
and that yeah, she ended up getting involved with Jelly Bean as a couple. They were a couple, but
Mm-hmm.
not yet. He wasn't on the scene yet. This is before Jelly Bean,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was a lot of Benjamin Bratt was one of the people hanging out with us.
Benjamin Brett, huh?
Yeah. That the Roxy was awesome, man.
Mm.
And who knew? My girlfriend at the time lived up the street,
Right.
down the street,
Mhm.
and that's how we even found out about it. It was a roller skating rink, and they would go there and skate. And we, Blue went there and negotiated a deal to get us to play there with no skates, and it was successful.
And what did you do with Madonna? What was Madonna's thing at that time?
I broke her first record, the record that made her a star.
What,
Every
Holiday?
no, Dance and Sing, everybody,
Come on
come
in.
on.
Do your thing.
So I broke that at the Roxy,
How about that?
and it became a huge hit, and
Mm.
and the rest is history with Madonna.
Okay,
And
so
she and I are great friends, and I haven't spoken to her in a long time.
yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to her. But yeah, she was part of the whole Roxy family.
Okay, so then when that got going on for you, is that when you met what's his name? What's his name? Caracas?
Right. I met Bernard Zachary first,
Mm.
who became my agent. And he approached me and said, "There's a guy who's starting a record label from Paris, and we're very interested in working with you. We spoke to a few other people, and we want to put together some shows in Paris and stuff like that. And would you be interested?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." He said, "Yeah, we want to bring you to Paris and do all this stuff, you know." And I said, "Okay, I'll meet." And that's how I met Bill Laswell and Michael Beinhorn. They were also approached by the same people.
Let me ask you, Rick, were you were you his only artist?
No, there was a ton of artists at Celluloid Records.
No, but I used to hang with you. That man loved you, dude. He really, you were like his number one guy at that time.
Well, I have to correct you. He loved money.
Oh, my fault. Okay. Valid. Okay. You said correction.
Yeah, correction. He loved money.
He loved money.
And, he saw in me
Did he take advantage of the natives?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh, how about that? Okay.
I had to go through serious. I had to go gangster, man, to get a check.
Yeah, you had to do Ice Cube in Compton, huh? To be stopped.
Yeah, and that's before Ice Cube.
Right.
So I had already had to do that,
Wow. Where's my money? I got a family. This is some bullshit.
Yeah. So I had to. But you know what? What was interesting is I actually didn't have to go break up an office or nothing like that. The threat was so
powerful,
believable. Yeah, it was so real that by the time he spoke to me, he was like, I know I owe you money, and I'm obliged to cut you a check.
Obliged, goddamn. He said, "I'm obliged to cut you that check, huh?"
Yep.
I know that's right.
He was like, "Yeah, well, I apologize." But
did you offer him a bar of soap? That man had an older dog. I remember.
No, that was his culture, bro.
Yeah, but he needs some soap. Damn, a culture. That he was stink.
Yeah, well.
Okay. Hey, let me.
he's not the only one.
I know that's right. Hey, but dig this though. Okay, so Bill Laswell, genius man. Tell people people have no idea this guy's major. Bill Laswell, Mick Jagger, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. He was a very talented person with creating, bringing people together. He has a talent for that. He knows what people to bring into a project, and he was masterful at that.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling people from all different cultures to say, let's bring this in. That's how we made Rocket.
I was just about to say, is that how you got with Herbie Hancock and all that?
Right. So it was everyone, and nobody wrote my parts. Everybody brought their own parts to the song, and the rest is history,
Now, for those who don't, again, welcome to the Funk Lounge Talk Theater with yours truly, the true to form funk prophet, the Rex. Got my main man here, my brother, man, my cousin, the love of my life, man, Grandmixer Supreme, DXT. Hey, man, when you did the scratching on Rocket, when you met Herbie, this is a jazz guy, jazz, Miles Davis, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
What did you feel that you can bring I never remember you being intimidated. You had to be solid within your own skin to come into Herbie's world and say, "Hey man, I can give you this. I can do this for you." Where was your brain at to even get involved with Herbie like that?
Well, when they first brought up, doing demos, Herbie was looking for a new sound, and in my mind, I was thinking, here's my chance to get my drum game going. And they were like, no. We want you to do what we see you do at the Roxy's with the records. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, when I was a young man, me and one of my dear brothers, Mr. C, Carter Allen, he corrected me recently. I thought we were on an abandoned car. We used to have abandoned cars in the parking lot.
Yes.
We pretend we spend the whole day in there acting like we driving.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
we were sitting on his brother's car. And we used to just like lay back on the hood of the car and stare at the stars.
Go ahead.
And the night before, we had seen Don Kirshner's rock concert.
Yes.
And it was Herbie Hancock performing, and it was the night where he made it seem like he had magical powers over his synthesizer. He made it swell and breathe with his hands, but he didn't touch it. And we were blown away by that. And I literally said to him that night, the next night after watching, I said, man, one day I'm gonna play with him.
Well, words are powerful.
And we can get him on the phone right now, because we was playing up in Boston, and I brought Carter with me. And it just so happens that the light guy got sick. And so we gave Carter a crash course on how to light the stage and, do the lighting, just really the spotlight stuff.
Go ahead.
And so he came with us on the road for a show.
Wow.
And he told Herbie, he said, man, I'm gonna tell you something. He actually said that. It was me and him, and he said one day I'm gonna play with him. And here we are. That's a very true story.
Man, my man, Doug Ramsey from New Jersey, man, he was on my other show. He was talking about Don Kirshner's rock concert, how important that was for us young people back then. And that's funny you mentioned that, because that was the show for us young people back in the day. Don Kirshner's rock concert and Midnight Special.
The Midnight Special. We saw Patti LaBelle for the first time.
All that.
We saw all of that. Ohio players. We heard the record, but to
see them. Yeah, we ain't talking about just Soul Train. No, we talking about Don Kirshner's rock concert. That was another level. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Madison Square Garden was a train ride away. So
go ahead.
We got to see them live. And this is what I would like to bring back to these young people.
Go ahead, brother.
Live performances.
Yes.
This being the world's first turntablist, that's nice, but it ain't the greatest thing that I could do. I did that within the construct of what I had to work with.
Go ahead.
I'm actually going to unveil the next level of turntablism.
Go ahead.
Very soon. I'm almost at 1,000 hours, and once I'm comfortable and I can just sit down and do it, I'm going to unveil it, because I'm trying to get the young people to move back towards instrumentation.
Well, I got good news for you, my friend. I have good news for you. There are a lot of young people out here. See, right now, musically, brother, we're at the crossroads. Okay? We're at the crossroads. There's a lot of kids that have a roadmap, but they don't have no direction. But they want to know where to go, because everything is so mechanical. Everything is so jacked up. I mean, there's no more music. It's just a bunch of shit. So what's happening right now, kids want to know. Even when you talk about instruments, they want to know, man. I mean, and we're talking about young people between the age of 16 to 30. A very deep time within that age range right there, 16 to 30. And man, they want to know some things, man. And you're the guy. So what you're talking about, they're ready. Because I'm trying to get you here to the college at DU. I'm trying to get you to come to the colleges here in Colorado, man, because they need you. And this is their music. This is what they're into. But while they're into what they're into, they need to capital KNOW know what they're into. And so far during this conversation, you've been telling them, brother. So, okay, and Herbie gave you the title Turntablist, correct?
Yeah, we were doing an interview in London, and the journalist said, well, what do you call him? And he said, well, I'm a pianist. I have a bassist. He's a turntablist.
Go ahead.
And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm a DJ. I didn't accept that at first, you
At
know.
first, at first. Uh-huh.
Hmm. Again, I was just immature, didn't see the bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
and over time it grew,
Dig it.
and then the younger kids started using it, and then I couldn't escape it.
Well, let me give props to you, man, because being you, being a human, you know, being yourself within yourself, you're doing the best you can while you are being yourself. I always tell young people, you don't know what you are and who you are until people outside of you tell you who you are. Because at home, when in your foundation, you're one way with your mom, your sisters and brothers, whatever the case. They are how they see you. But when you leave your place of residence, when you leave your foundation of who you are, when you go out, ride the train by yourself, when you go to school, you go to lunch, whatever you do, other kids see things about you that they see what the family don't see about you. They discover the magic outside the house. That's how I learned about me. I didn't learn about me at home. I learned about me among strangers. Because
Mm.
because let me tell you something. If I had to learn about myself and my family, I wouldn't be worth a shit. I, I'd be like, whatever.
Man, I'm gonna push back on that a little bit, man. I think your family, Aunt Audrey, and Uncle Rex showed me a lot. So
Well, my mother was my biggest fan, so I can't say that. Thank you for correcting me, D. My
yeah,
mom
yeah,
my mom made me. Okay, my father did the best he could with me. The master Rex, my father Rex, he did
right.
he did the best he could with me. But my mom always got me, man. So, but I'm talking about like cousins and other people. There can be a lot of play hating in that too. But sometimes, you gotta, and even no matter how much my mom was positive what she did for me, that's still my mother. I didn't take her seriously.
Right.
Right. That's right. I
You
didn't take her seriously. You
didn't
know,
take it serious.
not at all.
Right. So
Not at all.
right,
Not at all. Because she's mom.
right.
Hey, mom. I like what you do, but make me some pancakes. But because she's a good cook and damn baked beans and shit.
Right.
Right.
I know.
I know you. Who I know you know, big time. So, but the thing is, man, like you and I can both agree, man. Too bad the youth is wasted on the young, because man, getting older is not for sissies. You got to be a strong person to get older, man. And man, when I realize my life now, being over 60, I appreciate people, and I look my mother. I appreciate people who would never know how I appreciate them in my new right mind. I'm not talking about
Right.
me a long time ago. I'm talking about my new sense of self now, because I got my head up here together. And then I'm older now. I've matured. But that's why I
Right.
said that, and you said something too about, you said, hey man, I was young. You said it during our conversation just now.
Hmm.
You said,
Yeah.
hey man, they said things to me, but I was I didn't get it at that time. So yeah, amen to that. Yes.
Right. Absolutely.
So okay, so all right, now you with Herbie. Okay, so then tell us about the video, how that came on, and Michael Jackson, the Grammys. Let's talk, man. Let's get with it, because this is your time now. Because now you at another level now. It ain't just doing house parties no more. You met Herbie. Now you got to hit record on what, Columbia?
Yeah, on Sony
on,
Columbia.
on Sony Columbia. Okay, so now this is like what, Malcolm McLaren, Buffalo Girls, and Breaking. This is like when hip hop rap is brand new at the beginning, and you're part of it. But you got a Grammy from scratching. How was that, bro?
It was a surreal experience. You grow up in an environment where it is not much of anything, and there's a lot of despair and all of this stuff, and you don't realize it as you're younger, but as you get older, you start to realize that people are not exactly doing as well as your childhood blinds you from that.
Mm.
And so I was struggling with joining the military and
Mm.
all of those things I was going through. And so when I ended up getting approached to do the Roxy's and all of that, the door opened up and I saw more light. And so I went through the door, and I was asked to work on Herbie's record, and it turned out that everyone's equal input made the record successful. And so I never fathomed, going getting nominated for a Grammy or being at the Grammys. That never crossed my mind. But when we was in London, when we got the call that we got nominated. Matter of fact, it was the same day Michael Jackson was shooting the Pepsi commercial and Burnt Up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so we were really talking about that. And then as we were rehearsing in London. And so everybody shut the whole rehearsal down. Michael Jackson caught on fire. And everybody's like, what, when? And then we started getting news clippings coming. And then that broke the whole monotony of what, is he okay? And they say, oh, just then you guys just got nominated for a Grammy. And we were like, no way. And so we were celebrating. We was, wishing the best for Michael. And we went back to rehearsal, but we got charged from that because everybody was down and out over what happened to Michael. Because we saw a picture and he was just wrapped up like a mummy. So
Right.
we didn't know how bad he was,
And at that time, Michael was like huge.
But that was at the
epitome.
The ultimate level of show business.
Yes, sir. You better believe it. Please believe it.
And no one has done that. You can see all these people you seeing, they're never going to reach that.
Not like that.
Not like that. No. No, that was a once in a lifetime.
Yeah,
not in our lifetime. We won't see that.
Ain't that was something?
Yeah, he's special, and he showed that I'm different, bro. I'm on another level.
Go ahead
with this.
Mm-hmm.
Through all the pain and frustration, he raised the bar that we could take centuries for somebody,
And when you guys were at the Grammy, didn't he give you guys a nice compliment about your?
Yeah. He well, first we won, and everybody was in shock, and everybody just stood there, and I had to. If you see the tape, I'm waving, come out on the stage. We won, and so after you win, you go through the interviews. It's like room after room after room, pictures, photos. And Michael was back there, and he came up to us and he said, man, you guys really fooled me. We thought those were robots and puppets and stuff, but he said that was awesome. And he was looking at our gear, and sure enough, if you look at what we had on the Rocket on the Grammys, and then next year you see the Bad album, you see variances of that of the Rocket Band gear on what he's wearing in the Bad.
That's right.
Bad thing.
Yep.
So Herbie said, I think we had an influence on Michael because look at the cover. He looks like he's, he joined the Rocket Band.
Right.
It's like, okay. But that was an awesome compliment coming from him. And I didn't know he was that tall.
Dig it.
So that kind of tripped me out that he was, but we spoke for a few minutes.
He's like around 6'1", something like that.
I was looking up.
Yeah, so. Right. Wow. Wow.
And so,
hey man, if you go back to that time, that was like 84, 85.
That was, we won in 83, if I'm correct. We won the Grammy 83.
Wow. Hey man, if you go back to that time in the early days of rap, how was that for you mentally? Let's go back to that time. Let's go back. Let's get into a time machine, and let's go back to the energy, the vibe, the people, the attitude, man. Before niggerism became a culture of death, right?
I think that we should that should be part 2. We should rock out and make that a part two.
I
What
agree.
what you think?
I agree. I totally agree. I totally agree. We'll do another chapter because I want to talk about you, Mick Jagger. I want to talk about where you are now. What's the next? Because you're on levels, but well, I want to talk about the variation of levels. But meanwhile, before we go to we do a part two, let's talk about you coming to Colorado to the college. When we do the hip hop panel for the people that are listening to us.
Hmm.
When you come to the college, man, what would you like to do with these fantastic young people that are the leaders and driving the steering wheel, going down the highway of life? Uh, you know, they're the future. These new young people that are excited and interested, and they're looking for elders. They're not looking for equals. They're looking for elders to show them the way.
Right.
What would you do?
Hmm. Well, I would really try my best to instill the idea of communication
Mm,
through activity with each other, not through the technology, because the technology has no soul.
mm,
And so they need to spend time amongst each other. There are activities that people should participate in that helps the social structure. It strengthens the social and the base of the social structure for people. That's being lost through the individualism that is being uh, impacted and energized by the technology that causes you to isolate yourself. You know, I see people, even I do it. I'm standing there and I catch myself. I'm looking at Instagram and like 30 minutes went by and I'm standing there looking at a phone,
mm,
and I'm like,
mm.
that's not healthy.
And I'm
And
telling, and this doggone artificial intelligence ain't no joke, man.
no,
No, no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no.
and it's only as viable as people interacting with it. And so, I mean, the jury is still out on that for me, but the people who have designed it, they already are looking, 20 years down the road. They already know where it's going to be,
Well, the
where it's going
people
to
that
be.
created AI have created Frankenstein,
Right.
right? And I think we're headed toward the hellified. Matter of fact, we're not headed. We are already there. We
Right.
reside. We reside in the hellified. I'm just trying to
Hmm.
get out, and I need some water. I
Yeah.
need water to put this
Right.
fire out.
Right. Well, getting back to the young people, like,
Mm,
I would love to uh, pull up and give a clear
mm.
history lesson of what it is that happened in the Bronx
Go ahead.
and what it is, not what it's become,
Go ahead.
but what it's supposed to be,
What it's supposed to be.
and give them the tools so they can steer it back
Go ahead.
to where it's supposed to be. And because it's in their hands.
Yes, it
Is
is. Yes, it
and
is.
and so if they take it
Mm.
and they don't recognize that it's damaged, then they're going to, you
Repeat.
know, yeah, they're going to sell damaged goods. And
Mm.
so,
Mm.
and so we need to show them what it looks like when it's correct,
Go ahead.
so they know what to sell and what not to sell.
Mm. Grandmixer DXT, you are a delight. You are a listening treat. Thank you so much, man, for coming to the Funk Lounge Talk Theater, man, and talking to people that are interested. I really believe that in the last 30 years, we have been dumbed down in the worst way, and our logical, intelligent minds have not been fed. And we're hungry. And thank you for making our bellies full. And looking forward to talking to you on the next one. Love to your mom and love to your sister, man, and everybody. And man, thank you for being you and keep on doing what you do. And I look forward to you taking it to the next level. And I will get with you shortly.
My brother, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, bro. Peace out.
Peace.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Grandmixer Supreme DXT here at the Funk Lounge Talk Theater. And I really want to thank my man, Brian from Mousetrap Recordings, man. That's my man. Love coming to his place. He puts it all together for me. He's a blessing. And this has just been a doozy, man. This is my dream right here. You know, I started in the comedy world in 1982. It was me and RuPaul. That's right, the drag queen. I got some history, man. RuPaul and oh man, I've been blessed to be around so many talented people that you all know and see on television. Steve Harvey, Chris Tucker, Jeff Foxworthy, Carrot Top. Man, I'm all over the place. You know, I met when I was a kid. I met Jimmy Durante. I met Joe Tex, Jimi Hendrix, Teddy Pendergrass when he was with the Blue Notes. Sugar Blue, who played harmonica on "I Miss You" on the Rolling Stones album. Sugar Blue should stay over at our house, man. He was 20 years old. He was AWOL from the Army. And back in Mount Vernon, New York, my father was he was big time. He was something else, written Over the Mountain, Across the Sea for Johnny and Joe. He's from the doo-wop days, but he was also a session player for Atlantic Records. So that's how I know so much, because I met this guy. I met people when I was a kid through my parents. My mother, Sundia, booking agent in the South, who everybody used to call her a chocolate hippie, because all her friends, she had the white Jewish girls in the village. That's how I met Jimi Hendrix. I really didn't meet him. I saw him in the living room. I didn't talk to him because I thought he was kind of crazy looking. People don't realize back in 69 to 70, Jimi Hendrix, black people wasn't feeling Jimi Hendrix, man. He was more of a white thing, you know, because black people at that time was in the James Brown, Wilson Pickett, the Delphonics, but Jimmy was kind of out there. But I saw him I never forget, I'm looking at him right now, man. He was sitting on the couch quiet, a very quiet person. He was hanging with my mother's girlfriends who were Jewish, and they brought him to Mount Vernon, New York, from Manhattan. But I was blessed to meet so many people. I'm getting a little emotional right now. Just think I'm over 60 years old now. You think about your life, your past, and some people are not here no more, and it means something to you, you know. But me and Grandmixer DXT, man, we got stories. Me and him, we went everywhere together. And when he got hot, when he did Rocket, I would go everywhere with him. So, you know, we're going to talk about that part too also. But this has been great. And I want to thank Mr. The Funk Bible, Lamar Webster from Dayton, Ohio. Man, talking about Ohio and how the Ohio players are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or Heat Wave. So we're going to finish up more conversation with him. We got him coming up. And we got more of Dr. R&B, Doug Ramsey. And we got other special guests coming. So just stay tuned, man. Keep your ears right here. I call this listening ear theater. You don't see me, but you see the pictures. You'll see me when I do live events. There's a method to my madness. I don't show myself because I want y'all to see me, because I'm going to make this show live. I do what I call a talk show party. So we're going to have a talk show, then we're going to have a jam session, and we're going to party. I'm going to have something for the young people in their teens and their early 20s, and then I'm going to do something for the OGs over 50. Okay? And then I'm going to do a little bit of this, I'm going to do a little bit of that. And then when I go down to Florida around my elderly Jewish people, I'm going to play some Jerry Vale, Frank Sinatra, because I like to go there too. I love my little dinner theater stuff. I like some Barbra Streisand, some Frankie Lane, a little bit of jazz. So you can't place me. I'm what you call a We Are the World soul brother. Then I got my white buddies. I do some heavy metal. I do some Anthrax, Soundgarden, Spin Doctors, Linkin Park, Trap, Stone Temple Pilots, Stain. I do that. Then I may do a little bit of David Cassidy and the Partridge Family. I'm that dude. I go all over the place, man. Then I do some Jerry Butler, Western Union Man, Curtis Mayfield, then The Impressions, Larry Graham, Graham Central Station. So you never know where I'm going to be. But this has been a great talk with Grandmixer Supreme DXT. Hey, this is yours truly. This is the Rex, the true to form funk prophet, laugh specialist, feel-good therapist, funk jam artist in his purest form. And thank you so much for coming to the Funk Lounge Talk Theater. Until next time, peace.